I'm the one now. Extra cool. Ten Rakim. Uh, Turn me up some. 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 Complex. Mm. That's just where I'm from.
Come now. Pop told me fuck the world. I'm about to come now. I've been a pro, but now I'm profound. Propane on posers, restraining from the doja. Imagine if I spoke, I'd probably come up with a quote so heavy you'll forget every album you heard from Hova. Or the
I'm on.
sparklets, I'm a Hub City novelist. Come and get your scholarship, I'm taking kids to school. A pool full of spit, dive in, I'm about to drool. You drown trying to backstroke on concepts that I wrote.
Hmm.
I was a black sheep, but now I'm just a goat. And I'm about to elope, married to the game show. This is hip hop at its finest, where you find this in a zip lock till the wheels fall off. Fuck a pit stop or whatnot, with my tip drop, I murdered it. My potholes is turbulent, I'm in the sky with it. When you listening to Kendrick, just
Turn me up some. 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 A thousand times. I just gotta be heard. I just gotta be heard. I just gotta be. Said I gotta be heard. 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 Yeah, I gotta be. Come now, so tell me. I'm the one now. Talk to me. Thug proves Kendrick Lamar right in new interview.
Let me guess. You're thinking about going to therapy. And as a therapist myself, of course I'm going to say it's a fantastic idea.
One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, and more. All in one place, every event night at Universal Fan Fest Night. Select nights starting April 25th at Universal Studios Hollywood.
There is a part in this Young Thug interview that nobody's talking about. Also, this is the main part I want to get at. He proved Kendrick Lamar right when it comes down to Drake. Young Thug proved Kendrick Lamar in a part of this interview nobody's talking about. We about to get to it. First, we gonna build up to it, y'all. Now, we know and not like us. He said, you run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. You're not a colleague. You're a fucking colonizer, right? He said you call Future when you didn't see the club. Lil Baby helped you get your lingo up. So we're gonna start off with shout out to our cousin Moni too, because she had brung back up this part where hopefully I can see it. Where Drake had allegedly gave Young Thug $1 million in cash hours after he was released from jail. So, with that being said, it's not too far-fetched that Drake is in a lot of these Georgia dudes' pockets, right? Because after Kendrick Lamar mentioned their name, most of them had something like, I don't want to say negative, they try to ignore the situation. Like, we're still fans of Drake. So that's going to allow us to talk about this right here. Check it out. This is the part of the interview that everybody's talking about. But we're going to talk about how Young Thug in this interview proved Kendrick Lamar right. So this is the part that we want, y'all. Check it out.
Well, it feels like when you're away, it was sort of dominated by this like Drake Kendrick thing, you know?
Yeah, for most of it.
Which I don't know if you had like a side in that. Atlanta kind of even got dragged in by Kendrick, which is interesting.
Yeah. He just like spoke on people's name in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
He said he don't know what that was about. Saying like, oh, I don't know nothing. I don't know anything. I don't know what was that about. Like, so you're saying that you didn't know that there was a beef? Let's just be honest, y'all. He was paid off. He was paid off. Shout out to our cousin Moni for researching this. He was paid off, y'all. He was paid off. Now, this really means that Lil Baby was paid off too. Because all these guys are glazing for champagne pissy. Check it out, y'all. Listen.
Your reaction when you heard Kendrick mention you and Not Like Us?
Lil Baby help you get your lingo up.
I ain't really into like that side of hip hop. So I don't really,
You and Drake always had a good relationship. Drake helped you a lot.
great relationship.
Y'all hear that? Drake helped you a lot. Like I said before, Drake get to people, give them money or help them in some type of way because he knows later on that he's going to be exposed. So he rushed to these people and try to do favors for them, right? Listen.
Yeah. So you know you kind of like, and it's just with any situation like if you and him was arguing, why the hell you gonna say, but you know?
That don't bring you in it.
I'm gonna be having nothing to do with it. I be having, not saying whatever they got going on ain't real and that, but I be like, I feel like to me like rapping should be my work. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want that type of shit at work. You know what I'm saying?
He don't want no beef in rapping because rapping is his work. He don't want to do nothing with no beef. This is the same guy who said, I know I be rapping about anger, but I'm telling my youngins to vote. That's all he rap about. It's how he got the glizzy with the switch and the flipping. He better hop over the fence because I'm about to get him and I'm about This is what he talks about. Now, all of a sudden, you don't want nothing to do with nothing. You don't want it now. You don't know what that's about. Why you even mention my name? Why you mention my name, bro? Let's go back to it. Drake allegedly gives Young Thug $1 million cash. $1 million in cash hours after he was released from jail. So it's not too far-fetched that he helped Lil Baby out as well in some situations. 21. Now, all Kendrick said was, Lil Baby helped you get your lingo up. That really wasn't nothing for you to be like, man, why the hell you mention my name? All he said was, Lil Baby helped you get your lingo up. That ain't nothing crazy. That ain't nothing, no, you know what I'm saying? Now, 21 gave you false street cred, right? Now let's listen to this.
And Young Thug, it was bringing Drake respect that he otherwise simply could not get on his own. And beyond just this, in his verse, 21 Savage alluded to some very recent ideas, such as that the industry has turned on Drake, but that he still has his back. And specifically, he made a series of bars that were subliminally dissing Kendrick Lamar, which, as he said, then people be lying, same people be dying, and they never post.
One came out with it's seemingly dissing Kendrick Lamar, but he backpedaled and said, "Nah, I wouldn't diss Kendrick Lamar." He said that he never posts. We only know one artist who never posts. That's Kendrick Lamar. And for that pop reference, you were talking about Doc. You were talking about Doc.
Now, hit is up. He think he pop now.
He think he pop now. He think he pop now. Now, we all know the similarities between Doc and Pop. We already know. We already know. You know what I'm saying? And so 21 gave you false street cred. Dog made you feel like it was slime in your head, right? The only one I will say kept it solid is he kept it player, as he would say. Is 2 Chainz said you good, but he lied. You know what I'm saying? But here's what 2 Chainz had to say about the situation. You know, 2 Chainz is like, he laid back. You know what I'm saying? He ain't about to be getting into all of that. And you know what I'm saying? He kept it real play. He kept it real play. Because Drake ain't in his pockets. 2 Chainz always got it out the mud. 2 Chainz always got it out the mud. He was a hustler. So you're not just going to, I'm going to give you this and you owe me favors. Nah. He didn't go for that. He didn't go for that. Check out what 2 Chainz got to say.
Yes, but, yeah. 2 Chainz, why did you lie to Drake about being good? Kendrick said 2 Chainz said you good, you lied. Why you do that?
I just think it was kind of like some wordplay because Drake and I got a song called No Lie.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he said he lied, I just felt like, I don't know. But I didn't take it as no kind of way.
Yeah, I know that song. No lie, no lie, no lie, yeah. So he said that Kendrick Lamar is saying that was just a play on word. You know what I'm saying? He kept it OG. Laid back. I ain't about nothing. But not 21 Savage and Lil Baby and Young Thug. Nah. Drake is in these guys' pockets. He is in these guys' pockets. They owe favors. They owe favors. Check it out, y'all.
I don't think he was taking a shot at me. I've heard all type of instances where somebody wanted me to say something back. I just think it was a moment where it was about Atlanta artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I do have a couple plaques with Drake, probably 3 or 4 plaques with Drake. So.
And he has plaques with Drake, but Drake ain't in 2 Chainz' pocket. Check it out.
I think a lot of the people in that verse got a song with him, so that was just Kendrick Will just diving in on some subject matter type stuff.
When you first heard it, what was your reaction?
Well, I can tell you that people who named me didn't say felt some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So I was okay with it. You know what I'm saying? You got other Atlanta artists.
He ain't felt no type of way. OG, get it out the mud. He about to be brought out by Drake. Now, check out this part. This is why I said, this is it, y'all. This is why I said that Young Thug proved Kendrick Lamar right. Now, we're just going to rewind some of the interview. And this part right here, y'all. This part right here, he proved Kendrick Lamar absolutely right. You know that in Atlanta, they have a pride. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, they take pride in being a Grady baby. They take pride. I used to live out there. They take pride in being a Grady baby. Y'all check this out, how Young Thug proved Kendrick Lamar absolutely right. Check this out, y'all.
Move to Atlanta or rap about Atlanta. It's like, we got artists, like everybody's talking now.
Yeah.
But like, everybody still like sound like Atlanta or like move to Atlanta, or
you run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. You're not a colleague, you're a colonizer. He said that rappers moving to Atlanta, coming to Atlanta. You coming to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. Perfectly said. Now all you do is have to rewind it. He's saying it. He's talking about Drake without even knowing it. Without even knowing it. That's exactly what he's talking about.
yeah, but like
Hey,
everybody still
you
like
got a
sound
point
like
though.
Atlanta, or like move to Atlanta, or rap about Atlanta. It's like we got artists from a whole other place rapping about.
Artists from a whole nother place. He didn't say, yeah, artists from another state. No. A whole nother place means way out in Canada. That's what that means. He didn't say artists from, yeah, a whole nother state. Yeah, artists from 2-3 hours away. Nah. He said artists from a whole nother place. A whole nother place.
They'll like sound like Atlanta, or like move to Atlanta, or rap about Atlanta. It's like we got artists from a whole other place rapping about Atlanta.
Even if you're not there, I assume you still feel like one of the kind of leaders in that city.
Yeah. One of the guys that plowed Atlanta into the rap industry.
You would put yourself in that category.
Absolutely.
That's his new word, cloud. Shout out to Young Thug for working on his vocabulary. It's very encouraging. But yeah, he proved Kendrick Lamar right. You run to Atlanta when you need a few dollars. You're not a colleague. You're a colonizer. You're not our colleague. You out here getting in brothers' pockets. Shout out to Moni for resurfacing this, bringing this thought back up. Because we forgot about it. We forgot about this thought right here, y'all. This is the thought that we forgot about. This is what he do. This is what he do. Drake allegedly gives Young Thug $1 million in cash hours after he was released from jail. Right? Drake is known for being generous with people he cares about the most, adding to his reputation for generosity. DJ Academics claim that the Toronto rapper flew to Atlanta to... Yo! Stop playing! You run to Atlanta. He flew. He didn't run to Atlanta, so that was wrong. Kendrick was wrong. He didn't run to Atlanta. He flew to Atlanta to give his collaborator $1 million in cash after he was released from Fulton County Jail. Look at that, y'all. Look at that, y'all. So he proved that he goes to Atlanta to colonize, man. You ain't trying to be friends with niggas. You know that your fall was coming. Or you're trying to get a bunch of artists. And remember, QC is done for. QC done sold their catalog. So Lil Baby is out. I don't know who Lil Baby signed to. I don't know what he got going on. But I know when QC sold their catalog, his music wasn't the same. Things was never the same. You know what I'm saying? A few months ago, Drake shared on his Instagram story that he had put some money on the rappers' books while he was serving time before being released on a plea deal. So Drake shared on his Instagram story that he had put some money on the rapper's books. Listen, and that's another fake thing street dudes don't do. Street dudes not supposed to do. When you do something for somebody, you do it in silence. He had told you, yeah, I'm going to give such and such some bread and post it. But the main point, the main takeaway is this. You proved Kendrick Lamar right. Even though he wanted to take up with Drake in this interview, He just proved Kendrick Lamar right by saying,
They're like sign Atlanta or like move to Atlanta or
there you go.
rap about it. Like we got artists a whole new place.
A whole nother place. You flew to Atlanta to get him that bread so he could say, mention out. Why did you go make him feel like with that UMG money? But now being your bread's about to run dry, bro. Yeah, he gonna have little gigs and stuff like that. He ain't gonna be zero, bro. You know what I'm saying? But he's not gonna be UMG rich no more. He's not gonna be UMG rich no more. His stimulus package is gone. You know what I'm saying? His songs is flopping. But I just wanted to point that out. That Young Thug proved right. Y'all in the description to the interview, the article as well about Drake giving him that $1 million. Y'all let me know that. Big Kish signing out.
What's up, guys? It's Lex from the Students Recording School. Come check out some of the studios and gear that our students get to work with here on campus. This is the API 1608 analog console. This is designed for tracking, mixing, and overdubbing. This is where students learn advanced recording techniques like parallel processing and learn how to properly record acoustic instruments. This is our S6. This is Avid's flagship control surface. Equipped with Pro Tools Ultimate, this is where students learn how to complete multi-channel music for things like film, TV, and video games. This is our 48-channel solid-state logic duality, both analog and digital, with 2 live performance rooms. When students learn about this console, they learn about things like signal flow, which is critical for engineers, producers, and anybody using the DAW.
I respect people that stand up and are themselves in spite of what people tell them not to do.
I do this because I love this more than anything. I do this because this is what I do. It's what I've always wanted to do.
But it's never too late, really.
No, it isn't. 52 seems young now. If anybody's listening to this, they take courage from that, you know? It's never too late. It really isn't.
This video is sponsored by Playlist Push, the music promotion service trusted by a community of over 25,000 artists. So I was out with a friend the other day, and he's a good listener, and we were talking about one of the situations that seems to have happened in our life, which is whatever age we were at, it feels like there's a part of you that's always looking about a decade back and thinking about the commitments and opportunities that you just weren't able to take at the time.
So regret, for instance, has been very unfashionable over the last 50 years or so. You're constantly meeting people who say, I regret nothing. And my thought always is, you need to get out more. Where have you been all your life? I often think that life is just one humiliation after another, and that's actually how we learn, you know?
I'm not sure about your experience here, but I know with my own life, I can remember being as young, as I say, as my teenage years, 14, 15, 16, and already feeling like that sense that I'd missed the boat on certain ways that I could maybe move forward or live my life. I recently had a Patreon member reach out to me with something that they were dealing with around these themes. I'm currently in the finance world, this person wrote, but I started going to college for music and now I'm classically trained. At 35, they're now back in voice lessons. But how do you enter a field at that age, they asked, and escape the sense of internal rushing?
I just wasn't getting any traction for years and years. And every time...
You must have had moments where you doubted whether this was a career that you...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was constantly. It never was anything but doubt, you know? There was only moments when I would have a glimmer of hope, you know? But I just couldn't... Anything else I tried to do, I was so depressed at the end of the day of work or whatever it would be that I just had to keep sort of trying to write, even though I really didn't know what I even wanted to do.
My belief is that actually there's a lot of reasons why we can have a better chance at meaningfully engaging in our creative pursuits after we've left those more heady and wild pressures of, our teenage years and our 20s.
The effects of my upbringing and reconciling with that and figuring things out, because no one at the time, there wasn't all these terms they have for mental health and et cetera, you just kind of had to go in there and figure it out on your own.
It's great to refresh yourself all the time. It happens anyway. I mean, you're not the same person who wrote your first book.
For years, I think a lot of people who try to be writers and musicians, they can't, and this is true of me too, can't say that out loud. Like if somebody said, "Are you a writer?" They say, "I can't say that. I haven't," But I feel like after all the millions of words that I put on paper, I finally could say to myself, I am a fucking writer,
Just before we jump into this video and exploration, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor for this week, a long-term friend of the channel, Playlist Push. As I said last time, the greatest plug that I can give for Playlist Push is that since I first started advertising with them, there have been artists from this community who have engaged with Playlist Push and I've been told they're having some real success with those campaigns in terms of pushing their music to more fans, more ears that might enjoy and connect with it. I said before that when Playlist Push first approached me, I was initially quite skeptical around working with a company that were based on Spotify because I've never posted my own work there before. But after talking with the team at Playlist Push, I could see that the reality was that they really cared about this space and were deeply tapped in and involved, working with the playlist curation culture that operates on Spotify. In short, the offering from Playlist Push is to connect your songs to its community of over 4,000 verified playlists, using the knowledge they've built up over 7+ years doing this to make sure your songs find the right curators that are going to pick it up and get it in the ears of more of the kinds of people who might then connect with it. Operating within this tough space and with a Trustpilot review of 4.3 stars, along with trust from a community of over 25,000 artists and labels, Playlist Push are offering a real service to people who want to use Spotify to get their music out to more listeners. For customers who need help with building or managing their campaign, the support team at Playlist Push are actively on hand with the knowledge to help you do your best with their product as possible. So yeah, if you are interested in exploring how Playlist Push can help you get your music into the ears of more listeners who might connect with it, then go and check out what they have to offer there. And use that link below to get 15% off your first campaign. Thanks again to Playlist Push for supporting the work that I do on this channel and allowing me to spend the time to make these videos for the creative community that enjoy them. And with all that said, let's jump into this one.
Hi Dunkin' Girlies, I've been sleeping on this $3 medium Dunkin' Refresher. Strawberry dragon fruit is delicious. $3 medium Dunkin' Refreshers?
It doesn't take much to go from calm to chaos. But when life happens...
The thing you're doing right now, the interviews you're doing, that's kind of an underground river for you, right? That flows and it has a life of its own. Right? It's beyond you. You're just a vehicle.
I'm just a conduit.
It's absolutely alive. And I think all of us have that. And for me, it was writing. I think if we don't allow that river to flow, in other words, if we don't sit down every day and do our fucking work, whatever it is, the river doesn't go away. It turns into a malignant channel. Just depression, alienation, all of the modern ills, right? Yeah. And the more we stay away from that and we don't follow that river, the worse it gets. Everything that's kind of out there in the world would tell you that what I just said is bullshit. That you're just making this up. It's just some self-aggrandizing, whatever it is, But it's absolutely true. And as soon as we sort of turn the corner and follow that, and I know you agree with me on this, it's like all of a sudden we do find traction and our feet hit solid ground, and then we can build on that. And we start slow, but build on it and build on it.
So again, yeah, obviously I don't know you or how your experience has been, but for me, I don't really necessarily have what you might call a really clear, centralized identity or idea of long-term what I might want to be doing in necessarily like 5 or 10 years. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. And I've also been lucky to be surrounded by people who don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. But I think also there is a bit of a turning, at least in the cultures that I operate in and the people that I move around, of the idea that it is normal to change over time. And wherever we are in our life, although our desire, our passion to express ourselves creatively will probably remain a constant, the idea that that energy might find different routes entirely in which it wants to go and which it wants to express itself is not unusual at all.
People passing through it. Some cities grow horizontally, some cities grow vertically. Istanbul is a vertical city because there is the idea of the underground as well. one can see this constant cyclic repetition of erasure and then rewriting, which, in my opinion, enables us to read the city like a palimpsest overall. Palimpsest comes from the ancient world when we see these manuscripts that a particular narrative is written and then it's erased and then a new narrative is written over it. So there is this constant layering that happens. It's an act of also resistance, because the surface resists disappearance.
Creative bursts of energy, you know, there's some decent stuff in that output, but overall I think I was just very raw, and like I think my talent with making beats was coming to fruition, but like me overall putting songs together was kind of scatterbrained and odd, really. You know, like you could tell I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but like again, my confidence sold it. Like I had figured out, you know, myself to an extent by that time. And that was just like me being very, very vulnerable on record and not like holding anything back, you know, as far as being sad, you know, instead of putting out like a false confidence that I didn't have at the time, I just leaned into like how I really felt.
Now, to look at this idea of how, in order to live in a more true way, we do have to allow ourselves to actually change over time and keep our view, keep the aperture of our perspective wide in terms of who we are and what we might want to be doing. I wanted to introduce you to a short story by Anton Chekhov, which is called Gooseberries. This short story was featured in the George Saunders book I covered on this channel over Christmas, and it has a lot to tell us about our dreams and also the dangerous predilection that tells us we need to only have a single vision about what we want to achieve in our lives, and how that monomaniacal vision may end up blinding us. In the story, the character wishes to get a small house outside of the city and shut himself off there. Just as we are told to pick one dream or one form of ourselves and then go and find peace within that single conception of what we are in this life, so the character tries to grasp onto this single dream.
By degrees passed into a definite desire, into a dream of buying himself a little farm somewhere on the banks of a river or a lake. He was a gentle, good-natured fellow, and I was fond of him, but I never sympathized with this desire to shut himself up for the rest of his life in a little farm of his own. It's the correct thing to say that a man needs no more than 6 feet of earth, but 6 feet is what a corpse needs, not a man. And they say, too, now, that if our intellectual classes are attracted to the land and yearn for a farm, it's a good thing. But these farms are just the same as 6 feet of earth. To retreat from town, from the struggle, from the bustle of life, to retreat and bury oneself in one's farm, it's not life. It's egoism, laziness. It's monasticism of a sort, but monasticism without good works. A man does not need 6 feet of earth or a farm, but the whole globe, all nature, where he can have room to display all the qualities and peculiarities of his free spirit.
So yeah, it's a study of that monomaniacal nature of how we might move through life, thinking that if we commit to a single thing and chase it, give ourselves entirely over to this one single vision, then we might end up being saved by it. I want to be clear here that I'm not suggesting you have to live some kind of wild life in any way at all. More that as adults we can recognise that it doesn't have to be one or the other, and we can actually live in these more complex grey areas. We're able to commit to perhaps relationships, having children, and then also have this openness to exploration and serious investment in our creative pursuits too.
It's kind of the heart of the town that imbibes different timelines and remnants of the act of erasure, as well as the effort to recollect something. We see all these paper collectors, all these pieces of bricks, then fragments of older walls. The daily remains and the ancient ruins share something together, which I personally feel that resonates with my own personal being in between, both through identities, through languages, and being born in such a city that is also a city of divisions.
I get the money and right on cue. Keep the double back up inside my coupe. Hold a couple racks, tell 'em I love you. You wanna be a boss, do it like I do.
That's me, driving through the country. New vacation home, newly expanded business. I know what you're thinking. This only happens in dreams. Actually, it happened for me with help from a Wells Fargo Premier team.
Ready to meet the dream team? You can with Wells Fargo.
I see that in my work too. There are all these roads of different divisions that coexist together, like an act of resistance.
So to be able to apprentice yourself to your own reluctance, for instance, and just to start to observe how much you feel reluctant about, and that there's actually nothing wrong with it. So to be able to step into, oh, that's right, I feel reluctant about this, and it's fine being reluctant, yeah. And almost always my reluctance is actually an inverse calibration of the very
Huh?
What does this look like if we don't search for elite validation from others? What does this look like if we engage in this creative practice? We don't allow those voices or opinions of others, we don't allow that into our practice. So we stop asking ourselves, is this good? Or even worse, is this good enough, I guess? And instead, we start asking ourselves that more interesting question of, is this honest, is this real?
Community artist Jeremy discusses how we can use creativity to reprogram our deep-seated mental patterns.
I'm kind of a poster child for complex trauma, so...
Okay.
People may have also seen that as CPTSD, so it's kind of a variation of post-traumatic stress disorder that typically has a childhood onset. I'm also a mental health counselor, which is why this stuff is, I can talk at length about some of this stuff. The relationship I think that creativity really has to mental health is just that a lot of what mental health is about, it's developing new ways for seeing our own experience, right? It's like what the brain does naturally is to kind of create these pathways. It's water and like a path of least resistance, right? If it's rolling downhill, it's going to carve kind of a channel, and it's going to continue to return to that channel over and over and over again. So our brains sort of function in the same way. And so to start...
I said, do you want some Cheez-Its?
No, I want this one.
I asked you, you wanted that, bro. You don't want no Cheez-Its first?
No, I want this one. Whoa! It smells good. It smells good.
You can't smell it.
I want to smell it.
You got a wrapper on it. You talking about it smells good.
Daddy, I want this one.
You don't want no Cheez-Its?
Yeah, I want this one.
Yeah, you want the honey bun?
Yeah. The honey bun.
Cheez-Its first?
No. My honey bun makes me strong.
The honey bun's gonna make you strong. No, it's not.
Yes. Yes. This is make you strong.
There you go. I bought some chicken nuggets too.
Nuggets?
Hey, chill. Stop.
Daddy, I love you.
I love you too, Barbara.
How do I do?
Hey, you see yourself right there?
No. I don't. There. I'm fine. Look.
You want this? there, Papa.
Up there?
Mm-hmm.
I can't reach it. I can't reach it. I can't reach it, Daddy. I can't reach it. I'm too small.
You can see it though, right?
Yeah. I can't. Daddy, you put me up because I need to up.
No, you don't need to reach it.
Why? Why?
Because you don't need to reach it, bruh.
Why? Why, Daddy?
Because you can see it. The camera can see you.
I need to see me.
Hmm?
Daddy, I need to see Nana.
You need to talk to Nana.
Yes. I want some this one. What's this? What's this? What's this? Come here.
I'm signing that iMessage? What the fuck? You gonna throw that in the trash right here? Hey, come here. Come right here. Come here. Don't stuff that all in your mouth. Here, eat a piece of it. Don't stuff it all in your mouth at the same time. Eat that piece first.
to see yourself differently, to start to see your experiences differently and perceive things maybe in a more healthy way. It takes a lot of creativity. You've got to be able to allow for novel experiences, for novel ways of interpreting things.
When things look out of control, isn't it time for you to take control? You know, to maybe create something that's all your own that no one can take from you. Today, you can take something that you care about and you can find ways to share with the world that really becomes your own income, your own business.
It's an industry that's at $1 billion a day, heading towards $1 trillion a year. The cool part is it's not only recession-proof, it's inflation-proof. There are people waiting to learn from you, whether you create a course, a workshop, a membership, a community. If you Google the Fortune 500 companies right now, the majority of them were started in a down economy.
What I'm arguing in this video is that if you make your art or creative work the place where you're able to accept and hold the realities of yourself and your life and break through the subsequent need for validation and be, more real, then that's the place that you're actually going to find growth and start to realize more originality in your work and do that thing that is kind of at the heart of all teaching of creative practice, really, in many different forms of art, writing, whatever it is. If you go into those institutions that are trying to teach this creative practice, then you're going to struggle to avoid this idea of finding your true voice. You have to find your voice, and defeating that need for validation, or at least being aware of it in the decisions that we make around our work, is really going to set us on that journey to do that thing, to find our more real creative voice.
I saw Action Bronson towards the end of last year, and it was at a small venue, and I think speaking to going to shows indoors, so great because we moved through the people to get to the front. And man, the stage presence that he has, just the show and the persona becomes so much bigger than life when you're there. If you know Action Bronson, you know he's a clown. And and so he's shaking people's hands and then pausing and being dramatic. He's like an actor, basically.
I didn't show you.
What?
Mommy doesn't need a bedroom.
I know, just
so how can we help ourselves transcend this need for validation in our work? Some artists might turn to philosophy or meditation or
right there,
suffering or drugs. Sometimes sadness itself can hand to us its own form of nihilism as we create in a space where we feel like we're free because we have nothing to lose. But I guess what we're trying to reach, and maybe I should just talk about myself, I guess what I'm trying to reach is a state where I don't have to engage in those more negative experiences in order to actually access that place where I can transcend my need for that pat on the back around when I make my work or present my work to others. What I guess we need to do here is mature beyond and perhaps heal those parts of us that are constantly searching for the approval from others because they don't feel safe, or they need some kind of, they're insecure perhaps. The way we move through the world, it can be informed so much by that consistent repetition inside of us that's just going, am I okay in this moment? Am I okay in this moment? Am I okay in this moment? This is that perhaps subconscious
I got some chicken nuggets and broccoli
inside of us that's constantly opening up WhatsApp to 100 times a day to check, are we okay, or those compulsive exercises around social media, or perhaps we could even get into stuff like weighing ourselves, all those compulsive things that are born out of not actually serving a more healed version of ourselves, but instead consistently asking that question, am I good enough? Am I okay?
Community artist Tanner discusses the journey to build internal validation and become self-sustaining, apart from the need for approval.
The idea that I'm working on is kind of the final boss of realizing certain creative parts of your creative journey is being able to kind of move away from needing validation around your work, and the freedom you can have when you don't need the validation, but the amount we are just addicted to the validation. How's that work for you? It's not really a question, but does that, or have you got any thoughts around that?
That is something that I'm still wrestling with to this day. That's something I probably always will be wrestling with.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, social media definitely doesn't help. Yeah, I feel like it contributes to the problem. But I find that being in my own space, at the end of the day, I can push past the need for validation. I can kind of ignore it and just do what I need to do. Of course, when it comes to sharing it, that's when all of that just kind of comes up again. But real world experience for me has definitely helped me move past that some. Having people kind of reflect back to me, hey, this is good, this is really good stuff. It's helped build the confidence, and that's starting to become self-sustaining. But yeah, the battle for the need for validation and the desire to just do whatever I want, that is still going on within my own mind at the moment.
Ups and downs in my life, but I'm winning, I can't lie. Had to stitch up my wounds just to help my head high. Had to bury some dreams just to keep the hope alive. Sat alone with my thoughts, had to battle with my pride. It was nights I ain't eat, it was days I ain't sleep. Had to pray through the pain just to stand on my feet. Felt the weight of the world almost broke through my skin, but I carried that load, wore the struggle like a wind. Had to cut some ties off just to grow on my own. Had to talk to the mirror when I felt I was alone. It was anger hid inside, it was doubt in my veins. Had to find me some peace just to manage what I strained. I was chasing for love in the wrong type of hand. Had to learn who I was when the crowd did its thing. And I'm sitting right here trying to tell you the truth. It was me versus me, every fight, every bruise. Had to silence the noise, had to ignore the shame. Had to bet on myself when they laughed at my name. I ain't made it just yet, but I'm closer each day. And the man that I am has to die on the way. Pressure right here, there's still mountains to climb. There's still pieces of me that I'm trying to align. But I'm grateful I'm here and I'm stronger, I'm wise. I survived every fall, every tear, every lie. Therapists tell me breathe, I've been breathing through storms. I've been stitching my soul when my spirit was torn. It ain't over for me, this is barely the start. I got battles to fight, I got dreams to restart. So I sit in this chair with a flame in my eye. Up and downs in my life, but I'm winning, no lie. I had to stitch up my wounds just to hold my head high. Sat alone with my thoughts, had to battle my pride. First time you hear me, listen real close. Ain't no cap in my lines, every bar from the soul. I was built from the pressure, from the pain, from the cold. Had to dream in the dark just to see where to go. Wasn't handed no crown, wasn't given no throne. Had to bleed for my name, had to carve out Flame in my chest. Every loss that I took just prepare me for next. I ain't perfect, I'm human. I get hurt, I get tired, but I'm fueled by the hunger that can never retire. It's my life, it's my story, it's my heart on display. First time that you hear me, hope you hear what I say. I was down on my luck, had to stand in the rain. Now I'm building legacy out of nothing but pain. I'm a voice for the lost, for the ones who got hit, for the ones in the dark still believing that they live, for the kid with a dream in a world full of smoke, for the soul that's been crushed but refused to stay broke. First time that you hear me, it won't be the last. And I'm just hitting up, I'm just clearing out my past. So I send